Now in Flodesk, you can expire an email in a workflow, keeping your workflows on track and sending the information that's relevant even if a date has passed. To access this new feature, click on Workflows and then open up one of your workflows. I created a workflow just for this called Webinar Workflow. This workflow begins when somebody signs up for my webinar that's taking place on May 7th. They can be added to the segment if they fill out a certain form or they click certain links in my emails that I've been sending about my webinar. When they're added to this workflow, they'll immediately get a You're In email. This gives them all the details for my upcoming webinar. Then there's a time delay until about 48 hours before the event takes place. Once that 48-hour mark is met, they will receive a 48 hours to go email, followed by another time delay that waits until about an hour before the webinar starts. An hour before, they will get the See You Soon email. Now, this works great when somebody is added to this segment before it's time for those notifications to go out. However, if they happen to join this workflow after one or both of these time delays has passed, I want to make sure that they don't get the emails about 48 hours left or 1 hour to go. I want to make sure that that email is totally skipped. To do this, I'm going to set a particular date and time to these emails so they expire after that time has passed. Let's start with this one. So my subscribers stay at this time delay until May 5th, 2026 at 11 a.m. I want to make sure that this email does not go out much later than this. To do that, I'm going to click on this email, come over here to the right-hand toolbar, scroll down, and then you'll see a new option for Don't Send Email After a Date. I'm going to turn that on. When I turn that on, I'm going to see a new banner over here in the workflow. And here on the right, I can choose the date that I don't want this email to be sent after. So since this email is for 48 hours before, I want to make sure I don't send this email to anybody who joins this workflow less than 48 hours before my webinar. So I'm going to choose May 5th. And 11 a.m. is where my time delay is. I'll give it a little bit of wiggle room here. I'll go ahead and say 11:30. So now when we take a look at it over here, they have a time delay until May 5th, 2026 at 11 a.m. They come down to this email, and this email will send to anybody that reaches this point before May 5th at 11:30 a.m. If somebody comes in after May 5th at 11:30 a.m., they simply skip to the next step. So same thing here. I have a 1 hour to go reminder. I'm going to go ahead and click on this email. And I don't want this email to send after a certain point in time. To do that, come over here to the right, toggle on Don't Send Email After a Date. I'm going to choose my date and also my time. And there we go. If somebody ends up at this email after May 7th at 11:30 a.m., they will simply skip that email and continue on in the workflow. Now you can see here how one of these banners is yellow and the other one is gray. The yellow one is showing me that this date is already passed, where the gray one tells me that this date and time has not yet been met, giving me a little bit of additional context inside of my workflow. Now I'll go ahead and click Publish. So let's test out this workflow together. I'm going to jump over to my audience and I'm going to manually add myself to that segment that triggers that workflow. Open subscriber data and add that 5/7 webinar segment to that subscriber. Okay, so now if we go back to our workflows, there should be an active person in this workflow. So let's take a look at what this workflow is doing. I click on View Details and then Details. So here in the workflow details, I can see what has been happening in my workflow. We'll start here with the trigger. I can click on these analytics and I can see that one subscriber has entered the workflow via this trigger. Next, I can scroll down, click on the analytics here, and I can see that this email has been sent one time. Now we are past this time delay. So I would expect that that subscriber is not sending at this time delay and this email was not sent to them because we have a set time here for that email. Let's take a look. Nobody's waiting in that step, which is expected. And here, I should see that this email has been sent 0 times. which there we go. Now, it's not quite May 7th yet as I record this tutorial. So if I click here, I should expect to see a subscriber waiting in this step, which is exactly what I see. Once that time has been met, it will move on to the next email, and it will continue to do that step until May 7th at 11:30. After May 7th at 11:30 a.m., anybody who reaches this step will simply move on to the next step, which is to exit the workflow. And there you have it. Adding an expiration date to your emails makes your workflows more efficient and easier to use for your time-sensitive offers.